I guess it's challenge month, and this is the month of April. So, since it's still the month of April and we're still in lockdown, I'm still taking on non contenders. And today's non contender is an oldie, but not so goodie, which is Mitch Archduchess. Mitch Archduchess actually came about to actually go against Tommy Sotomayor. She is basically the anti-manosphere chick from 1.0. The women that kind of drove the 1.0s off, chased them off, them with the help of YouTube. But she's an old relic that's still around. She's an old swirler that's still around. And I don't think I've ever really referenced her, to my knowledge, personally, because she never really personally talked about me. I think she may have mentioned me a couple times, but I've never really mentioned her. And I don't even know why my name is in her mouth anyway. We've never crossed swords. So, in case I've never done it, this may be the first time and hopefully the last time I will ever mention her. Now, this is sent to me by somebody I only think is a sub, which is Dane Christopher. Now, we know Dane Christopher is basically a mod on Concrete Rose and Danielle's channel. So if he's a mod over there, he's probably Purple Pill. Okay. So you coming over here on this side and posting this stuff means you're up to no good. You're trying to start shit, in my opinion. So I'm going to let you off with this one because you put my name in it. But next time, bruh, put some kind of shit over here in my channel with some beef, I'm going to block you. Right? This is a one-off, just as a warning. So Dane Christopher, don't bring me no more shit over here like this, all right? Because you could have kept this. But be it as it may, let's talk about this. Now, if you want to go find this, put my name in and put Mr. Archduchess and it should come up. I'm not even going to put the link here because I'm going to give her as little press as possible. Ain't no clicks and views for old swirlers and old anti-black males over there, right? So let's get down to the gist. Before we get into the rant, let's get into the setup. She took my video, Will the Rona give black women a new attitude? And that has been a ongoing question from the black manosphere, including Obsidian, that they wanted black women to come back to the table to actually negotiate. And those for dudes that want to actually be with a black woman, but they want a black woman that's more traditional. It's not that they can't get them, Miss Archduchess. It's not that they can't get them. Is they want a different brand. They want a different black woman with a different attitude. They can get them all day. Just can't get the ones that they want, or decent ones that they want. Those are far and few in between. And this goes from dudes that are making $200,000 a year down to dudes that are making $20,000 a year. Doesn't matter. And will Rona give black women a new attitude? It's not just black men saying that, it's also white men saying that. Now, she was laughing and joking that black men are going to be jealous because black women aren't going to accept them back. Basically, black women aren't coming back to be with black men because they say that we are looking for them to come back to us, right? Like they ever left, which is normally the interpretation that black women have, that all of a sudden they're doing so well and doing so fantastic on the other side of the wall that black men are on the outside of the window looking in, waiting to get into the house with them, right? They're so desired and so wanted that we are wishing for them to come back to us like they really ever left. Now, we're not going to chop up the video. I'm not going to go through and chop up the video. It's like an hour and a half long and full of all kinds of bullshit, right? And I skimmed through it because, number one, her voice is irritating. It's number one. I don't know what it's about swirlers that have irritating voices, like Crystal and Karazin. Their voices are irritating. And I can't sit through an hour and a half long video with them being irritating. She could have made it in 5, but she took an hour and a half. So I didn't sit through the whole video. I sat through like maybe 10 minutes of it. So I got the gist of it. So I'm not going to try to break down a bullshit video point by point. So instead of answering her point by point, which I really don't give a fuck, I'm just going to turn it into a rant. So Miss Archduchess, you lame swirler, this one is for you. In 3, 2, 1, cue the music. Look, boo, you crazy bitch. I don't know what planet you dropped off on or what kind of world that you live in your head. Black man getting a black woman is like a hungry dude getting a peanut butter sandwich at the Mission when he's homeless. It's free. It's free all day. Black women are giving up coochie left and right. It just depends on what level are you willing to go to get it. There are so many homosexuals or dusty dudes that are living with black women. Black women on Section 8, black women have jobs, all kinds of stuff. That black men have to go in on black chicks for doing this kind of crap. So whether a black man has a job or not, just got out of jail or not, doesn't matter. Because there's a black woman to take him in, because black women, I hate to say it, are not the most wanted group of women on the planet, much less in the United States, because of your reputation. Sorry to say, I've already said that black women should not have the worst reputation or should be the worst option for black men. They should be the best, and you're not. But that's obvious. Let's get to the logical piece, right? Let's get to this. Why are there almost 3 million more adult black women in the United States, but they have almost 1 million less marriages? Say that again. Why are there almost 3 million more black women, adult black women in the United States than black men, but black men have 1 million more marriages? They marry at a higher percentage. Not only do they marry at a higher percentage, because those 1 million more marriages mean that they're not marrying black women. They're actually marrying out. I'd have to go back and check it, but last time I looked, there was the out marry rate, number for black men was 800,000, like almost 1 million. Half of those were white women. The other percentages are Asian and Latin and Asian. In other words, in all categories, across the board, if we're talking interracially, black men attract women in all categories, date and marry out women in all categories, which is the problem with Generation Z. The out marry rate in Generation Z, the outdating rate in Generation Z amongst black men is like 60%. The outdating, out marry rate in millennial generation is 40%. When I was coming up, the out marry rate was less than 10%. So we've gone from like 5 or 6% of the out marry, out date rate, 6% in the 1980s when I was a young man, to 40%, to 40% amongst the millennials and 60% amongst the Generation Zs. 60%. They're not looking for you, boo. There's a lot of men in the manosphere that, because they want black lineage, they want to marry and date and marry black women. They want to have kids by black women. It ain't because they can't get other women. It's because they have race consciousness. And that's what you've been beating black men over the head with for the last 50 years, race consciousness, which is the reason they haven't married out. They're not looking for scraggly black women that marry or date out or marry or date white men. Black men do not care. Black men do not care. In fact, black men, especially the younger black men, would prefer that you go date somebody else and leave them the fuck alone. Which is why you drag your narrow behind over here, talk about black men and down black men when you're supposed to be a swirler. If you're a swirler, you want to rub it in our faces, you should be uplifting white men. That's what you should be doing. You should be uplifting white men. You should be praising white men or praising other men that date you. But I forgot. If you do that, you won't have any subscribers. You won't have any traffic because black women ain't down for that. Because all really that you guys want to do, that you swirlers want to do, is talk about who? Black men. Because you can't keep black men out your mouth. You're not over here because we're talking about you. You don't have a channel because we're talking about you. You're here because you actually love our asses. And the problem is, you love us more than we love you. That's the issue. That's all it really is, boo. You're not fooling anybody. I know black women that are married to white men, okay? They don't talk about us. Black women that truly love white men don't talk about us. Now, they hate SYSBM because SYSBM are showing themselves marrying out, dating out with other women, with other groups of women, and they're talking amongst themselves. They're not trying to get the attention of black women. With my channel, I'm not trying to get your attention. I could care less whether you're over here or not. In fact, years ago when I started this channel, it's IBMOR, Introspective Black Men of Reform. This is not a channel for females. Now, females like to come over here and view it. Like my percentage of viewers that are female is like, I think it's like 17%. Only 3% of my subs are female now. But the people that view my shit by race, by sex, are 17% female. Now, for the whole year long, we have groups of people, men and women, attacking this sector, so-called black female haters groups. A lot of women talk about the Save Yourself Black Men, because Save Yourself Black Men are talking about going elsewhere, dating out, which is something that Miss Archduchess, you should encourage. Now, you have black men that truly want to save their culture or keep their culture intact, but they want decent acting women to come back to the table. It's not about they can't get black women. The thing is, they want decent acting black women. That's what the video was about. That's what the whole video about. Will Rona give black women an attitude adjustment? It's not about them coming back to the table or coming back to black men. They're already there. The thing is, will it give them an attitude adjustment? The thing is, the way that black women are, black men don't want to be with them. So they're hoping that the environment will change so that they can be with them. So this is their opportunity. So let's really get down to a real rant. Look, you dumb broad. Even before Rona, America has never got out of a recession. And 50% of all Americans, black, white, Asian, female, what have you, make less than $30,000 a year. And the biggest group of poor people, of poor males, are not black. The biggest group by number of poor people are white males. Now, they use percentages to make white males feel better. But as far as number is concerned, the biggest group of poor males by number are white. The biggest group of females that are poor by number, not percentage, but by number, are white females. There's plenty of females to go around. In fact, with white males killing themselves and committing suicide, the number grows, right? And the biggest group of females marrying black males or being with black males are not white. They're Latins, they're Latinas. So you might have white females trying to get the black men at the top or even the middle class, but the black males get swooped up by the Latinas, because the Latinas are poor too. So those are viable choices for them. If a black man has a job, he can get him a Latina. If a black man has a job, he can get himself a black female if he wants one. And after Rona devastates some of these jobs, the price is going to drop. So if a guy can make $15,000 a year, he can get him a black woman. He can get him a Latina. Hell, he can get him a white woman. And that's across the board. Because the same thing that I'm saying about the coronavirus, about Rona, and the Rona's aftermath, the white guys are saying the exact same thing. They're waiting for their woman to get an attitude adjustment. And they're getting the same calls and emails and texts that black males are getting. That, hey, big head, what you doing? I miss you bullshit. All of a sudden, you guys are getting friendlier to black men. And you want to keep up that front like y'all can get by yourself. I got one word for you that I make too: bullshit. And you know it. You can go through your Facebook page and you can see it. You can see it on Twitter. Every black woman and every white woman in America knows that they can't go sell their ass on OnlyFans. And there's a good goddamn reason why they're decriminalizing prostitution, because y'all need a job. Y'all need a way to earn a living. And the only way to get real value for that used up twat is to get married. Find yourself a simp and get married. If there's enough simps to go around. And since the simp's gonna have plenty of choices and plenty of variety, because there's more of you guys than there are of us, they're gonna get choosy. So that being more educated doesn't mean crap. Don't mean shit. That ha he that we don't like you with white men, that don't mean shit either. Because it's not the fact that white men are coming down and choosing black women and raiding our women. It's the exact opposite. White women and Latin women are coming down and raiding your men. And for the last 2 years, I'm getting sick of hearing about it because you broads coming on into our channels whining about it. You're coming into our spaces whining about it. Every time you see a brother with a Latin, every time you see a brother with a white woman, every time you see a brother with Asian women that actually taking the men that you want, you guys come over here crying. It's so bad that you're competing with light-skinned women and talking about you're not wanted. So even amongst yourselves, there's a hierarchy that you're crying about. Black men have never cried about you not wanting them. Black men have always cried about you having an attitude. That's what black men cried about. They've been whining about you have an attitude. They can get you. Hell, even the lanes can get a black woman. They might not get the top-notch 8, 9, or 10 that they want, but they can get a black woman. The thing is, can they get a decent one? That's how come they jump to the other side. They can actually get a decent woman of another race, which is something that you don't like. So no, boo, it don't work that way. And Rona's just gonna make it worse for you. So you can he all you want. At the end of the day, when White Zaddy has to cut back on your aid and cut back on your pencil pushing jobs, which he's gonna do, which he's already started doing with automation, even you educated ones that basically have a degree in a non-essential job, guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to walk the plank just like everybody else. In fact, you're going to walk the plank first because they prefer males, and males work harder. There's just a lot of guys on this side, which I do not understand, are wishing for you guys to be better so they can accept you back. They're looking for reasons to accept you back, and you're not giving it to them because they don't want to jump the fence. They really don't. Not that they can't, they don't want to. They get offers all the time. So no, boo. It's not that route. It's not that way. I don't know what you're smoking or what kind of medication you forgot to take that day when you decided to actually put my video up and think that you cackling on your video is going to mean anything, because it doesn't. So take your scraggly behind back over to whatever white man will take you and be good. Truth be told, you've been his concubine since he brought you here. White men have always had access to black women. Black women's vaginas. Read the American Slave Codes. In fact, there was one section in there where brothers of the manor used to take turns impregnating you. White men have always had access to you. It's the white woman that hasn't had access to black men. That's how come we had to pass miscegenation laws. It wasn't to actually stop white men from having access to you, to stop that white woman from getting at that black buck. Because as soon as those laws got lifted in 1968, your marriage rate to white men stayed constant. Black men's out-marriage rate went up 3 times. And that's just the white women. We're not talking about the others. So they pulled those fences down where black men actually had choice. Black men have only had choice over the last 40 years, really. And what you really don't want is black men to have choice. You want us to stay inside the pen until you come get us. That's really what you want. And we're not. And you were cheering because you thought that what black men really wanted is that you to pay attention to us. That's the way you interpret it, because that's really what you want. You really want to be desired by black men. You really want to be wanted by black men. You want us to look at you like white men look at, like other races of men look at his woman. That's really what you want. You should just say that, boo. But just like most black women, dumbass black women, you want to ridicule and push and hit and all that other kind of negative stuff with negative behavior, thinking that that's supposed to be a love tap. That's supposed to make us want you more. Those days are over. If a white man wants you, he can keep you. If another group of men wants you bad enough, he's going to take care of you, take you off our hands. You know what? Godspeed. This is a new day. It's called black male choice. And all you're doing is pushing black males, especially young black males, in that direction faster than they already have. There's plenty of places in the world for black men to go and be wanted. Doesn't have to be here. There's 1.5 billion black females on this planet, not the little piddling 20 million that's in the United States. You're not that special. Sorry. Anyway, I'm going to jump off here. This is BGS out. Now